What we are going to see today is Svelte in action. So we are going to build smarter front-end application with less coding. Okay. So before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. I am Sriman Abhimanyu Muthakumaran. I am a UI UX designer and a full stack developer with over 15 years of experience in the IT industry. I am an educator at heart, though a passionate coder. I run workshops on coding, design, and tech for kids and also working professionals. I am also a musician who tries to keep myself running for the passion. And currently, I'm designated as the CTO at Novus Mind Collectives, where we are building a creative learning tech platform for learning creative arts in the regional languages. And I'm also a co-founder of Salem Creators Forge, which is again a community tech community based in Salem, where we host tech events related to design and development in Tamil every month. And I'm also working on my another startup. Um, Sorry, yeah, I'm also working on my other startup, which will be launched officially on January 1st. So that's it about me. Yeah. So now coming to the JavaScript development landscape. So initially, when we started with web development, we had HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And it was very easy because we know HTML is the skeleton of how a web page or web application would look like. CSS is the outer presentation layer where we work with the colors, backgrounds, images, etc. And JavaScript, it's how it functions. And later we had frameworks like jQuery coming up, and then we had Angular, we had React, we had Vue.js, Ember.js, and now we Svelte. But are we not spoiled for choice is what I was always questioning when I came into the front end development landscape. We are spoiled for choice because there are a lot of frameworks, lots of abstractions, and each framework they offer their own promise to be better than the previous one. They offer better performance and they say they are easier to develop. But are we really making it easy is the question, and no is always the answer, because we trade one pane of a framework to another pane for the another framework. So when jQuery was there, we had to use the dollar symbol for selection and all this stuff. And when we switched to React, there was no dollar symbol. We had to go back to the document dot get element by ID and other stuff. And we also had refs, and then came Angular, which got signals, and then came Vue, which had its own set of syntax. So I was wondering, an why is not there a easier method or easier framework where you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a bit of extension like HTML++, something like that, and you just get on to building fast, quick apps. So that's when one of my colleagues introduced me into Svelte. Before I say why I switched to Svelte, let me give you an idea of what is Svelte. So Svelte is a UI framework that compiles into components using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So now fancy JSX syntax, no fancy other syntax or transpilers needed. So it's basically a compiler, and it is not a runtime framework. It's a compiler which compiles your code into proper vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript so that it can run directly on the browser without need of any transpilers. Svelte officially states that Svelte is a love letter to web development. The major advantage that I see is it has no virtual DOM. So whatever you do on the UI, it is updated directly on the DOM. So it doesn't go to the virtual DOM, doesn't do a comparison and all the stuff. And it is reactive by design. So in React, you need to have hooks or you need to have libraries to make your code reactive. But in Svelte, it is all built into the framework in a much smaller, lightweight package. To give you a comparison on why I mean lightweight is, so let's say we compile uh, just plain hello world program with Tailwind CSS in React. So the approximate package size that would be there is around 120 to 130 KB. Yeah, we might wonder 130 KB is not a huge amount of data when we deal with data in MBs and GBs. But when you look at Svelte, the same hello world with Tailwind CSS will come to approximately 10 or 11 KB. So imagine a package size of 10 KB. Imagine a package size of 120 KB. We are already 12 times faster and we are 12 times lighter. So this means it is easier to load. So that's what is the advantage of Svelte that I have been observing in a lot of applications. So when we when we dive deep into our session, I'll show you how corporates are adapting to Svelte for their newer applications, and you might be surprised at the names that you hear because there are a lot of tech giants that are switching to Svelte now. So this is usually a code of how a Svelte page would look like or a Svelte file would look like. It would have a script tag, just like how we have in HTML. The only difference is that it has two types of script tags. So one is a module level script and one is a component level script. So module level script is, let's say you have a page and you have multiple components and you want a particular data to be reactive across all the components. So you can use a script type module uh, in the Svelte file to work with the reactive data for the entire group of components. And let's say you have a separate component that wants to work different from the module. So you can have component level script that will be only for the component level, and there will be the markup of the page or the component or the route itself, and then the style. So this looks pretty familiar to how we have a HTML file. So we have the style tag inside the head, and then we have a body tag which has the HTML markup, and then we have the script tag that usually links to external CDNs or other JavaScript files that we have, or it can even be internal JS files. So this is how a Svelte file would look like. Okay, so now coming to the situation where I was curious to explore a new framework, and that's when Svelte came knocking my door. I know it was a riskier choice. So I used to work in a healthcare company, healthcare analytics company, where they were building dashboards with HTML, Ruby on Rails, semantic UI. It was fast, and but it had limited scalability because of the Ruby on Rails and some other libraries that we're using. So they wanted to build a faster dashboard with modern frameworks and make it more responsive, more reactive. So there were two choices that were in front of us. One is React, another is Svelte. So React was already gaining the industry's popularity, and it was industry's go-to framework, while Svelte was just emerging, and it was the rebel new kid who came into the phase of front-end development. Many suggested that we can go with React because it has a proven library, it has a proven ecosystem, it's a mature ecosystem, and it has a lot of support in the community. But I wanted to give a try because when I heard Svelte was lighter compared to React, I wanted to give a try on Svelte. So one thing that we were looking is how do we onboard junior developers into our project. So when looking at junior developers, they had a lot of time to explore, and they were actually looking forward to work on the project faster rather than learning daily. So that's when I came into Svelte, and I know that Svelte, even though being a growing ecosystem, I wanted to try out Svelte. So I chose Svelte. I built a dashboard, and to my surprise, as Tony says, Legends would have told me to go with React, but I had other ideas. But to my surprise, the entire dashboard was fast. It was the we know the performance of metrics, right? The LCP, the first contentful paint, the LTT, etc., etc. So all these performance metrics were huge compared to what React was. So we built the same web page in React and same in Svelte. When we analyze the performance metrics, the Lighthouse scores, in React was around 70 or 72, but in React it was already 92. So we didn't do any performance optimization. It was already there because Svelte was blazing fast. It's because
Hey, Sriman,
yes,
there is a question. At some logical point, shall we take some questions? Virat has raised his hand. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah. Virat, do you have a question, please?
Hey, Jagardhan and Siman.
yes,
Um,
Virat.
Thanks for connecting. When you say about the fast, right? Um,
Mhm.
Comparing the React and Svelte,
Mm,
I mean, fast in terms of what? I understand, like, you got the Lighthouse score of 92,
mm,
and with the React 72. I understand. Even the React is the way it is, right?
yeah.
But aren't we judging these metrics on very smaller terms? I mean, consider this situation where we have a very complex logic on the app itself, right?
Okay.
In that case, don't you think that Svelte will lag?
Okay. That's a great question. I myself have built an enterprise application. Okay, let me give you a scale. Okay, let's take it this way. You have a database that has 1 million records. Okay, and you use a time series database or a real-time database. Okay, so you have 1 million records, and each record has around 120, 130 columns. Okay, uh, when I tried to render the same in React and Svelte. React, let's say this is just a abstract number that I'm giving, not the exact numbers. Let's say React took around 1.5 seconds. How much do you think Svelte would have taken?
I mean, see, I have a good experience in React. I have never tried Svelte,
Uh,
but what? Let me put it this way. See, Svelte is new. I have been tracking Svelte from last 2 years. I have been seeing most of the things that people talk about is basically when you have a complex logic on your app or on any component that you go for. Let's say
mhm,
there are so many child components that you are trying to render, right?
mm,
And you are drilling the prop, you are taking it from the reducer, manipulating those things, and again, exposing it to the UI. That times the React will be very effective. When it's a simple one
yes.
go approach, I mean,
Okay.
you need
Hey,
something.
so sorry to interrupt, folks. I think this topic seems to be a little more detail oriented. Many people who joined are just grappling with what Svelte is and how to get started. Shall we take it a little later?
Sure, sure,
Uh,
sure,
Uh,
sure, sure.
yeah, Virat, I can answer your point, but as Janardhan said, let me show you that is coming up. Probably you might get an answer as we dive deeper. Uh, but if there are still questions, let us definitely discuss, and I'll be happy to help you, Virat. Yeah,
Yeah. So the
yeah,
performance challenge, Virat, very much valid. I'm also learning to understand what is good and all. Let's look at the pros and cons, comparative views, and then see is performance a differentiator? How does it get it? Not get it? We'll look at that at the last 5-10 minutes. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Sure.
yeah,
Thanks for raising that. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. When you look at React, right? React it ships a virtual DOM with on the runtime, but Svelte it compiles at build time, which means it has smaller bundles. And since we don't, I mean, we eliminate the entire virtual DOM, it updates directly on the DOM, making the update faster. Okay, so you might think on a small scale, updating is just a quick matter of time. But when it comes to, as Virat was asking in his questions as well, when we have a complex enterprise scale application, how does the DOM update? And is it not, I mean, since React has a proven virtual DOM framework, is it not, I mean, it might not be effective as the directly updating the DOM. No, it is not like that. Svelte, it actually does what JavaScript used to do back in the days, directly update the DOM, and it ships just by plain vanilla JS. So it is much faster and it eliminates the load on your client. Okay, and it has faster hydration times, smaller JS payloads, and lower TTI. And for React to be SEO friendly, you need to have uh, new packages, or you need to use a full stack framework of React like Next.js. But Svelte has SvelteKit. SvelteKit is the official framework of how you can run a application in Svelte, which offers server-side rendering out of the box with no extra configuration. You just create a Svelte file, you just create a server file, and you're already doing SSR. And you also have SEO capabilities that are already built in. You can add your meta tags, and you can add all your header tags directly into Svelte without even having extra configurations. Then full stack capabilities. SvelteKit is a framework plus a meta framework. So you have API routes, you have server functions, you have forms, you have endpoints, everything built directly into SvelteKit without having to depend on a external library, or without having to switch to an entirely new library like Next.js, because React and Next both are built on the same framework, but you have a different approach on how Next.js works, and different approach on how React.js works, because React.js is a client-side framework, and Next.js is a server-side framework, and it's a full stack framework. But SvelteKit, out of the box, it is a full stack framework with all the capabilities. So it's like a crazy kid who just runs blazing fast, and then it is done. Yeah. So did someone notice? It's like you build apps that feel blazing fast without even touching the performance optimizations. So less code and more magic is what Svelte is the. You can, as you see in the caption, right? So you can turn 12 lines of React into 3 lines of real code in Svelte. So traditional frameworks, they code more and they give you less, but in Svelte it's the opposite. You code less and you get native speed output. Since it again, this is the point I'll be emphasizing throughout the session, because it compiles your logic into pure JavaScript. We don't have a runtime overhead, and it is already fast. So Svelte is a compiler that rewrites the rules. Okay, it's not a framework, runtime framework. It's a compiler that pre-transforms your code into minimal framework-free JavaScript that browsers really love. And reactivity. So this is where Svelte excels in terms of React, at least to my experience, because having over, I would say I had over 8, 9 years of experience working in React, and in overlap, I was working for Svelte in 5 years. So when I looked at reactivity in React, so there are functional components, then they changed to hooks, and the class comp I mean before it was class components that had state as object, and then we had hooks. It might change in the future, and every version of React that gets a major update, you will have to learn a new syntax. But in Svelte, it is like you assign a variable, it is already reactive. You just need to declare it in the statement. So that's where rules come into the picture. So Svelte rules is a part of Svelte version 5. And when I started working, Svelte was in its version 2 or 3, I don't remember. And then Svelte 4, version 4 was the major update that they had. And Svelte 5 is another major update that came in after, like 3 years after Svelte 4. So rules are a part of the syntax. So they are like keywords, like how you used const, let, and other class keywords, right? So they are keywords. So you just write them as a part of your syntax. You don't need to import them. It's just built directly into the framework, and it understands. And they are not values. They are kind of a declaration that you use. They are like JavaScript reserved keywords, and they are valid only in certain positions. So uh, yeah, I see someone has raised their hands.
Yeah, Virat, go ahead, Virat.
So yeah, Manu, you said like it's not a value.
Mhm.
Is it some kind of I mean object we are trying to pass as an argument?
No, it's a declaration of how you declare a variable. So,
So
probably,
we
Virat,
will cover
what
it
I
in
would
coding time. Coding time.
yes. What I would suggest is we will have a deep dive coding session where I'll be explaining all these rules. Probably you can reserve your questions later, because it'll be easy for me to get into the coding faster, so that
Yeah.
we all can understand.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. So we have dollar state. So dollar is what makes uh, Svelte reactive, and it is the keyword or symbol that is for reactivity. So state is a rule which allows you to create a reactive state. So you declare a variable with dollar state, and it is already reactive. So in React, when you want to update a state variable, what you do is we use const state variable name and a function equal to use state of the initial value. In Svelte, what we do is just declare a variable. Let's say I'm using a variable called name. So name equal to dollar state of initial value. And then when you want to update in React, what you do is set state or set name of the particular variable. It's not, and when you do name equal to a new value, it doesn't change your state. But in Svelte, it's like name is equal to something, it automatically updates the state for you. So it keeps looking. And next is derived state. So derived state is rule that allows you to compute values based on your state changes. Let's say you have building a e-commerce application, and you add products into your cart, and you want your total value to be changing as when you update the quantities. So that's where a derived rule can come into picture. And dollar effect is very similar to what use effect does. It is a function that runs when a particular state updates. It doesn't take in dependency array. It just takes the state variable inside the dollar effect. So these, I'm just giving an explanation. I'll be walking you through the entire coding thing. Next is props. Is like how you do have in React. Is the inputs to a component. Next is bindable. So component props can be bound. Let's say you are changing a variable in the child, you can actually make it change in the parent as well. Okay, so it is very easier compared to React. And this dollar inspect. So dollar inspect is just console.log, but what it does in an additional thing is it will rerun wherever argument changes. So the argument can be a state, or it can be a derived state, or it can be a prop. So it will inspect that, keep on inspecting that particular variable or argument, and then whenever it changes, it logs it into your console. So you'll have less console.log statements. Then is host. So it provides access to the host element. Okay. Then we have the template syntax, which is the HTML++ of Svelte, and my favorite part when it comes to Svelte. So in React, when we have to do render a list of, let's say I have an array of objects, and I have to render them, I'll have to go into the map function. And if I have a condition, I'll have to use the ternary operator. Instead, we have a if-else statement, like how we use in JavaScript. So you have a if condition. If the if condition is true, it renders the code just below it. And we also have a if else. Then we have each else, which is like iterating over a array. And you can let's say if the array is empty, it will execute the else part. Then is key. So a key is like whenever the argument that you pass in to the key function, the content of that particular markup will re-render whenever the value changes. So let's say you have a form, you are building a multi-step form for a sign up. Okay, first you get the personal details, and when you click on next, you'll get the location details, and when you click on next, you'll get the credentials. So in that case, you can just have a key, which is like the step number, and then whenever a key is changed, it will re-render the UI, but without affecting the state variable. State variable will remain as it is. Then is await. So it's like async data blocks. You can await for a condition, and when it returns a promise, it takes the then block and it catches for errors. Next is const, where you can declare constants directly into the HTML template, and it will be scoped into the uh, markup. So there are a few advanced template derivatives at HTML, where you can inject raw HTML, but it is never advised because it's like dangerously set in an HTML equivalent. There might be HTML injection attacks. And then is debug, which logs a variable doing development. And is render, where you can embed a snippet or a block dynamically. So let's say you have a component that is there, and you want to render it, or it's just a one-time function without uh, having to declare it as a component. You can just use at snippet and at render to declare reusable chunks of template logic. Then is attach, which attaches components to dynamic routes. Okay, so let's deep dive into this when we go into the coding part. Next is bind and use. So bind is you explicitly declare a variable to be two-way bounded between the data and the DOM. So whenever the data changes, the DOM changes, and whenever the DOM manipulates or a button click manipulates that particular element, the value will come back to the data. And use is apply actions or enhancements to elements. Okay. Next is CSS that minds its own business. So we have a component scoped styles by default. So when we looked at the previous slides, we looked at the structure of how a Svelte file will be. So we had a style tag that was below. So you can write a particular style for a particular component. So let's say you write style of a p tag in a particular component. This will not be affected in another component. It will be applied only to that particular component. So there will be no global conflicts or naming hacks. Let's say you want to use a library like Tailwind or Bootstrap. It is also possible with global scope CSS scopes, or you can use CSS modules. So I'll definitely show you on how to integrate Tailwind because Svelte offers out of the box support for Tailwind CSS. Next is other favorite part of mine, which is state. Uh, okay, I pause here for a quick interaction. Okay, how many of you have been using global state management in React? Yes, Virat.
Virat, Ravi, they have been using. Okay.
So when it comes to global management, what are your strategies, Virat, and probably also Ravi?
Ravi.
Context, create context to provider and import the values.
Okay. Have you used
Based
any
on that.
other strategies like Redux?
Redux, by using Redux, we can do it. But
Okay.
it is very simplest way. It is very good compared
Okay.
to the other one.
Yeah. How about you, Virat?
So we follow two strategies generally. Whatever I have worked for a couple of projects where we follow two strategies. One of the strategy to hold the data
Mm-hmm.
for the application based in the Redux.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes for the theming, we use the context which we supplied as a props. I mean the props as a global variable for theming itself. So two strategies generally we follow for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are the advantages that you think Redux offers, or what are the disadvantages that you think Redux or features that Redux misses?
Basically, when you have see the Redux moved its feasibility from Redux to Redux toolkit.
Hmm.
Initially, the Redux had the problem of deeply comparison of any object, right? So, which they solved with the Redux toolkit. I don't feel a lot of problem with the Redux, but when talking about the problems, there are so many of files and state movements that is happening, which
Mm.
is supposed to be a single one go to update an state. I must say, when you are trying to update a state, it should be quick and enough that you want to do it. You want to do it. You don't want to dispatch and create an action and then again update the state. It should not be that case, but it's a very personalized thought for mine. I mean, that's
Right.
how the entire Redux ecosystem is working. I can't manipulate that way, but yeah, that's what it is.
You just nailed it. You just nailed it, I would say, because that's what the problem that I have been facing with same Redux. So when it comes to toolkits like Redux Tanka Saga, you'll have to write a dispatcher, you'll have to write an option actions, and then you have to dispatch that action, take that into code, and then import it, all the stuff. So that's where Svelte excelled in state management. So it is just state that just works. So it is a built-in store utility where you have readable states, you have writable states, and you have derived states. So they are global states, very similar to how Redux works, and they already dispatch actions. They have I mean they already have built-in dispatches that you can just use. You just import the particular state variable and then use it into the application. It is shareable by the server as well as the client side. So there are three types of stores. One is the writable stores, which gives you a shared mutable state. Uh, let's think like authentication or even counters for that matter, or cart when it comes to an e-commerce example. Then we have readable state. So readable state is a controlled push-based data. So like live clocks or network status, or let's say in the e-commerce perspective again, we can think it like a total that is just readable, but we can't edit the total value. Next is derived. Derived is like a computed states. Again, totals, the filters that you use, or probably the user information, like a summary. Let's say, again, the total value in the e-commerce cart is a derived state. It has zero setup. You just import store. You declare a variable which is either readable, writable, or derived, and then you import it into your code. That's it. It's already done. So I've been using it a long term now, and I honestly even I forgot how Redux works now, because that's how Svelte states have made my dev life easier. Then animation. So any element that you interact with, if it has a beautiful transition or animation, it is easier on the eye and it gives you a better user experience. So Svelte has transition directives where you can apply the same effect for both entry and exit. So let's say a component comes in, you want it to zoom in, and when it unmounts, you want to zoom out. You can use the transition property. Or let's say if I want to zoom in from the center to the DOM, and then again zoom in out of the DOM, we can use separate transitions for in and out. Or I want to slide in on in and zoom out on exit. That is also possible. Then we have animate directive, where it moves the elements when their position or size changes. It comes with natural motions. It has that Bezier curves that we know: ease in, ease out, ease in and out, linear, cubic, etc. It also supports custom easing, delay, and duration parameters. Let's say I want to slide in from the left, but from the top left, I can use the X and Y axis to control the animations. So it's that easy to support custom animations. Next, we have the powerhouse of Svelte. I call it
Praveen, Praveen, I thought you had raised your hand. Was it you had a question or was it by accident? Praveen P. Okay, maybe you're not able to unmute. Hmm. Okay, we'll continue. In case you have access to chat, you can post your message there. Thank you. Yeah, let's continue, Sriman.
Okay. I call the powerhouse of Svelte framework Svelte Kit because it's the official app framework of Svelte where you can create a folder or create a project and you have file-based routing and SSR built in. It is ideal for websites, dashboards, and APIs. Okay. So when it comes to SvelteKit, it's a front end and back end framework in one flow and all under one roof. So you have a plus layout.svelte file, which is a shared layout on UI for a group of routes. Let's say I have a candidate registration, something like Naukri. I log in there. I mean, I go into Naukri. I have a home page that will give me a that will be on a particular layout, and then I log in. Then the layout changes. So you can have a layout file that can be grouped for a group of routes. Then you have a layout.server.ts file, which is fetching server logic and data for that particular layout. Okay, so you can have a UI and a data for that particular layout. Then comes page.svelte, which is the UI for the particular route, and page.server.ts, which is a server logic for the page. So you can, let's say I have multiple pages and I want to share common data. I can fetch that data from layout.server.ts and then give it to the common. And for one particular page, if I want to get data, fetch data, I can use plus page.server.ts for fetching actions or fetching data for that particular page alone. Next is server.ts, which is a API endpoint for that particular route. So let's say you submit, you wanted to submit a form and it should call API and it should return a response. Then it can be used in plus server.ts, which that also I'll be explaining in my coding. So you need to, you don't need to have a context switching between multiple repos. You have a single repo, which is a full stack application. Then the five spices or five ingredients of SvelteKit's magic. So routing, that is file driven, server side rendering out of the box, API endpoints via server, and you have form actions for handling post, and it's TypeScript friendly and it is TypeScript first. And it integrates well with all the libraries that you know, Tailwind, CSS, Strappy for CMS, or Firebase, Supabase, Lucia, or Drizzle, Prisma, everything that you know, it already has a support for SvelteKit. Lately, I've been using multiple stacks with Svelte. Like I've been using Strappy, I've been using Firebase, I've been using Cloudflare for uploading my files, and I also have what do you call this Supabase for my database storage, and I have Tailwind CSS, I have Daisy UI. All these integrate much well into my ecosystem, and I also have AG Grid and AG Grid for my live data display. So these all work with SvelteKit out of the box, and it can handle REST API or GraphQL kind of querying. It supports all the modern databases and auth providers. So as I mentioned in my previous slide, SvelteKit offers native support for Tailwind CSS. So when you create a project, you can mention if you want to have Tailwind CSS as a part of the project, and it will do all the configurations for you. And it is like your code feels effortless. It's a faster development server with HMR. It has 50% less boilerplate than React or Vue, and it is primarily designed to focus on your work and enjoy how you develop. So it's more of a developer experience that Svelte gives compared to other modern frameworks. Okay, now coming to the tech giants. So from Spotify to Apple Music, global tech giants have been using Svelte. Apple officially uses Svelte for their web version of Apple Music, and Spotify, they use Svelte for their marketing pages, and the Svelte, I mean Spotify wrapped feature, right? It was built with Svelte. So New York Times, it was they were one of the early adopters of Svelte, where they had many interactive graphics and components that were built with Svelte. IKEA, they use their site templates in Svelte. Cloudflare again uses Svelte for its developer documentation websites. Other giants like Brave Software, Rakuten, GoDaddy, OnePassword, they all use Svelte uh, for their web application. Okay, so now it's time that we go explore Svelte together. I'll be demonstrating on how to code. So I pause here for a moment to take any questions before we continue with the uh, coding session. Any questions?
Yeah, Praveen and Virat, go ahead. Virat question is what about MUI? Yeah, have you?
Okay, MUI is official React framework, which can't be used with thing, but I think there is a unofficial version of MUI that can be used with Svelte. There is also Shatsian support for Svelte.
Hey, Praveen, I'm not able to make you a contributor to unmute yourself for chat, unfortunately. Mm, if you, I think you have raised already, I'll give you my WhatsApp number. You can post your question and I'll read out for you, okay? If you're able to see the chat, please give a thumbs up and I'll ask your question after a few minutes.
Janardhan, can I go? I have a couple of doubts. Sorry, I'm asking too many questions. I
No
just
Yeah.
worries.
wanted
Yeah.
I'm just wanted to align myself. I mean, I've been using React for quite some time
Mhm,
and looking forward to learn a new tech.
mhm.
So I'm thinking where the Svelte is aligning to. So
Okay.
my question to you, Manu, is I mean, I'm sorry if I'm asking too many things.
No.
When
No.
when you are
Actually, I
saying,
feel happy. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, when you say you a couple of questions. I mean, see, on a paper, when you speak about those things, right? It looks very lucrative that it is going to be a next big thing, or I mean, it is in the market. Lots of people are using.
Mm.
So my question number one,
Mhm.
I want to put it little theoretical to you.
Okay.
See, the React is a very community-driven, framework, right?
Mhm.
It has a vast community to support you.
Yes.
So where the Svelte is lying as of now? See, it's not like that today. I switch for Svelte, and I'm working on any enterprise application. I will be having all the support which I needed, or all the question, all the nitty gritties that I will have. Right? It
Okay.
is solved.
Yes.
So question number one.
Yeah.
Question number two.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you
Go
want
ahead.
to?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Probably I can answer, and then we can take up the next question.
yeah, yeah. Sure,
Uh,
sure, sure. Go ahead.
See, as of a when you talk about the perspective of a community or ecosystem, definitely I would vouch for React because it's a mature and proven ecosystem. Because it has a lot of community members, it has a lot of library supports, etc. But whatever the libraries that you have in React, they also have a SvelteKit support now, as of now at least. And somewhere I read a statistics, and I also mentioned in the my previous uh, talk in my Bangalore in Brilio. One second, let me take that numbers for you. Uh, Okay, it was around 2 million plus weekly NPM downloads were surging uh, in Svelte. So there was a sudden rise of Svelte ecosystem, and whatever framework you name, right? Let's talk from a JavaScript perspective. What are the JavaScript frameworks that you have? If you want I18 support for internationalization, it is there. Svelte supports out of the box, and there is official library of I18n. You want styling frameworks like CS Tailwind or Daisy UI or thing. It is there. Shatsian also has. It was previously an unofficial version of Shatsian. but I think they are bringing up a official version very soon. And then when it comes to data display, you have data tables, you have the AG grid, uh, and when it comes to authorization or thing, you have Lucia auth built in, and you have, I mean, support for Lucia auth. You have for ORMs where you have Drizzle and Prisma, and whatever database you name it, right? You can integrate Firebase directly into SvelteKit. You can integrate Supabase because I have been using Supabase a lot now, and you can integrate Neon DB. There is something called Pocket Base, which I absolutely love, which is a small scale data open source database. Okay, so pocketbase.io. It has support for React, Angular, Svelte, Flutter, and Vue. I think they are still on their beta version, Pocket Base, and whatever you name, it is already growing. So it is not as mature as what React is, but it is still it is already getting there on a faster scale, I would say.
Yeah, I hope it should be. I mean,
It is because
see,
many companies are adapting to Svelte, and I have seen many companies post direct Svelte jobs on their careers page.
understood. I
Yeah.
mean, you see the JavaScript ecosystem. It has every time. It has a every new day there is a new library that comes in. It's a fact. But no worries. What brings me to the second question to you?
Uh-huh.
When I heard that you were saying that Svelte has this capability where it tries to manipulate directly a DOM, there comes a difference how you are working with React, right?
Yes.
React won't let you. The React won't let you to do directly manipulation of DOM because of couple of reasons,
Hmm.
right? So, first thing, it takes the consideration of concurrency of DOM manipulation, right? For
Okay.
that, it wants to restrict and keep a hold on manipulation of DOM for some time if you have a concurrent workflow going on, current, right? which
Correct.
which that's the one reason where it do not little allows you or blocks you for that, right? Next point of that would be the performance also. it
Mhm.
it tries to improve in the Svelte. I mean, if you are directly manipulating the DOM, it means that you want a quick response, right?
Yes.
Anything which is happening you want to just see on the screen, but it never happens that way, right? I mean, it's not like you always try to do the same way. There are a couple of things that go in parallel, right? And you are trying to manipulate a DOM, the behavior of a UI changes, right? You do not feel the same behavior. You go for the animation, right? The animation effect that Svelte already providing. It has. I agree with you. I totally agree with you that it has all those ins and out. Everything will be there, but it's not only that animation you're looking for. There are a couple of physical animation that you look for. There are libraries like you would say that Spring,
Hmm.
right? Spring physical animation that gives you. But what brings to the my point is, if you are directly manipulating a DOM, somewhere down the line you are compromising something, right? Either on the UI side or you are I mean, that's how the JavaScript ecosystem works. Now when you manipulate a DOM, you
Mhm.
wanted to make your performance good, but you are compromising on some part, right?
Okay.
Because it's a costly effect.
Yes, I agree. But before that, small back, I mean, a question to you. So, where did this virtual DOM start? Was it even before React? No, React was the one who gave virtual DOM. Okay, and now we are getting back to the roots. So everywhere you look, getting back to the roots is going on the trend. Okay, virtual DOM updation. Uh, React has masked our thoughts, I would say, at least because I've been an extensive user of React as well. So in that perspective, I say React has masked your thought that virtual DOM is faster, virtual DOM is easier, but that's not the case. JavaScript used to work even well with enterprise level applications. Angular didn't have virtual DOM. Angular used to work well when DOM manipulations were there. Bootstrap was a popular choice of framework with DOM manipulation even before other frameworks came in. Libraries, CSS libraries came in. React was the one who trended that word called virtual DOM. And now we are getting back to the roots, is what I would answer. Uh, are we really compromising? Never, it never happened. Are there not lags with React? No, there are lags with React. There are lags with virtual DOM. There are drawbacks for both direct DOM manipulation. There is drawback for virtual DOM manipulation. It's like how we want to balance out what are the features that you're really looking in a virtual DOM. There are been concurrent uses. Do you think enterprise application as big as Apple Music or Spotify Wrapped would have not thought of using direct DOM manipulation? No, there are yes, but I still agree there are a lot of use cases for using React, but virtual DOM is not the only point to be hopping on in React. There are a lot of other benefits in Svelte or any other newer framework in that aspect where React really lags. That we'll have to accept. That's the bitter truth, I would say, because I've been into that. I've been into React. I've been into Svelte for 5 years now, and for more than 9 years in React. So that's the bitter truth that we'll have to accept. React have now made themselves into a industry favorite, but are they really uh, giving an extra added advantage of what a virtual DOM does? No. I think Vishal Pawar on the chat, I see changing directly DOM is the default behavior. Yes, exactly. I accept with you, Vishal, because that's what JavaScript has been doing, and that's what JavaScript is for. DOM manipulation is what JavaScript is when you come to the UI part, not about the functional part. When it comes to the UI part, DOM manipulation is what JavaScript has been doing. When someone introduced a concept called virtual DOM, they made it a trend, and now we are running behind that. And when someone wants to go back to the roots, it's people from the React ecosystem, not to mention your thing, because I've faced these questions everywhere. People don't want to go back to native roots because that's faster and that's easier. That's what I would say, Virat. I hope
Yeah,
I
yeah,
answered.
understood, understood. And one last question to you.
Yes.
Hope I'm not taking a lot of time. A little question that
Hmm.
is very important, which I want to go for.
Hmm.
What about the module federation? I mean, let me put it this way. So let's say I want to create a library
Hmm.
from Svelte itself,
Okay.
right? How much flexibility that Svelte gives in that perspective?
No, flexibility is a vast term. So, what kind of flexibility that, if you can direct me there, like a particular type of flexibility, I might be
So,
able to help.
Yeah,
so
Virat, there are many people in this call who are just digesting the facts. Okay, this seems to be a little more advanced question where you are jumping. Okay,
Yeah.
it will not help many
Probably.
people.
Yeah.
We
What
will
we
have
can do,
enough
Virat?
time. Okay,
Yeah.
after the session, we can still continue the conversation. If you
Yeah.
can proceed with the coding, because many people are just trying to understand, and these are like going
Exactly.
too much over.
Yeah, I accept with Janardhan's point. So probably we can stay longer in the call. I'll be happy to stay, and we can definitely take up these kind of advanced questions.
Yeah. After your module creation, Sriman, I think definitely we'll queue this question. A very good
Yes.
question. We
No,
had
no,
no
no.
doubt about the
Yeah,
question.
I
Only
definitely
thing,
want to take up
so
this
yeah.
discussion with Virat. Yeah. And yeah, what is different with Svelte? Praveen, question. I did last did hands-on during jQuery days. Then
I just, yeah, I answered it, Sriman. So Praveen
okay.
asked me in a call, I mentioned in the beginning, right, when I heard from Sriman Svelte, it will look different. So my example is a very different than Praveen. I am not the regular coder. Way back,
Hmm.
maybe 9 to 10
Okay.
years back, I stopped coding. I'm a director of engineering at one company. So I don't code regularly. That was the time when Angular and React came. When recently I started, multiple times I attempted to learn React, multiple times I attempted to learn Angular. Somewhere the initial learning curve looked very steep. So I didn't proceed further, not even building my first app. when I really heard the Svelte session by Sriman, I felt that this to me looked more comfortable. It looked really HTML plus plus, not really about I have to spend probably a week in understanding, because the what React and Angular are trying to solve are way very good in terms of enterprise application, large applications. Definitely, it's serving. But for somebody who is going to build probably a small app or something app, the learning curve to me looked very steep. That is my own ability or inability that I was trying to conclude on. Okay?
Yeah.
Second thing I felt was hiring new people, right? I always, as a manager, hiring manager, I look for things. When Sriman mentioned that for students and all, okay, who are just learning basic HTML, JavaScript, CSS in colleges, for them again React is an entirely new course they should join, learn and all. Similarly, Angular. So I felt that this could be forming the way for them to bridge and then learn forward. So these are the two aspects that attracted me into Svelte.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Janardhan. So yeah, so I'm sharing my screen. So when you go into Svelte, this is what they say: web development for the rest of us. So it's a beautiful line when you deep dive into Svelte. So Svelte Kit, they have an official documentation, and let me zoom in. When you
Yeah.
go here, you have an introduction, and then you can go to creating a project. So Svelte, for technical understanding, Svelte uses Wheat by default. So how other frameworks have also switched to Wheat for faster compilation. Svelte also
So,
uses Wheat.
Sriman, sorry to interrupt. Could you make the theme light, because most of the time, either font is small or it's.
Yeah.
Is it possible or is it too much? If you can make.
Okay. For some reason, my terminal is not switching to dark light mode.
Okay, fine. Maybe you
Yes.
can just.
Yeah.
Okay, you can increase the font size also, and then we can. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So we have a syntax to create. Okay. I just go in. I just created a Svelte session folder. I just go there. Okay. And just we run this command sudo npx. So due to permission issues, I had to use sudo. I'm just going to say Svelte first, Svelte app, and just yeah. So it'll ask you for options. So here you have a Svelte kit minimal, Svelte kit demo. Okay. So and a Svelte kit library. Okay. So to correct, we can build an entire library. So probably Virat, this is one option that you can explore. Okay. So I'm going to go with Svelte kit minimal because we are going to create a new application, and then we can add TypeScript. Okay. Right now I am not using TypeScript. Okay. And yeah, you see there are a lot of support. So we have Prettier, Slint, VTest, Playwright, Tailwind CSS, DevTools JSON, Drizzle, Lucia, MDS Vex for Svelte and Markdown, Paraglide for I18N, and Storybook and MCP, Svelte MCP. Okay, so I'm just going to add Prettier, Slint, and Tailwind CSS for now. And for Tailwind CSS, I'm going to add in the typography and the forms plugin if it is necessary. Okay. So right now I'm going to disable it. And we have package manager, yarn, pnpm, bun, and dino. Right now I'm going to go with basic npm that we all know. Okay. So this is npm. So it's going to create all the dependencies and install it for us. Uh, yeah. Okay. So it says you're all set. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I just had a power problem. I'll just switch to a better hotspot. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you're
Okay,
still
cool.
audible.
Okay, good. Okay, so our Svelte project is set up. That's that's it for now. Okay. Let me open Visual Studio Code. Okay. So I have this first Svelte app for us. Okay, let me change the permissions. No. I hope Visual Studio Code is done. So when you look at SRC, this is the folder that we'll be working on. So you have a entry point called app.html where we have this Svelte kit head. So this is the part where you can do SEO inbuilt in from other components as well. And the percentage SvelteKit.body is where your contents are uh, visible. Okay, your contents will be rendered like how we have app.js. Okay, then we have the routes. So as I mentioned, it is a file-based routing. So each route will have a plus page.svelte for the component plus layout.svelte, which will be uh, the layout for the group of routes. And we can also have plus page.js or page.server.js for fetching data from the server and layout.server.js. Okay, so that's about it. And yeah, let me make them side by side. Okay. So what we are going to do is just do the run command, yes, sudo npm run dev. It is going to open up in 5173 for us. So localhost, yeah. So localhost 5173. I'm just zoomed in a little bit for convenience. So this is our page.svelte. So you see, welcome to SvelteKit and visit sveltekit.docs.kit for documentation. Okay. So we have this SvelteKit page. So whenever we make changes, this is my first Svelte application. Just do a save, and it's the same as how we do in React as well. Okay, so let's say I want to add a since we installed Tailwind as a dependency, it is already there. So when you go to app.css, you see we have already Tailwind CSS imported for us on the global level. So I'm going to just do class equal to, okay, text read 500, and it is already there. So we don't have this fancy syntax called class name instead of class. So it's just class. So it's not a JSX syntax. It's just plain HTML. Okay. Let's say now let's look at the default structure. So we have a script tag where we do. Then we have the markup itself. Okay. So let's say yeah, in app.html I was mentioning sveltekit.head, right? So this sveltekit.head is the header where you can do your title, your meta tags, etc. So here I just do I just create a component called svelte colon head. Okay, so this will be the title. I mean, this will be the header in the HTML tag. I'm just going to give, when you see at the title bar, right, it's localhost 5173. But now when I just do title homepage, it just changes to homepage here. Okay, and I can have my markup. Let's say I'm creating a div with a paragraph. This is my first paragraph. and I create a button, click. Okay. Now, then I can write in style. Okay. So I can just say div. For div, I give a background of red, uh, padding of, okay, to be easier, 16 pixels, and border radius of 8 pixels. I just save. Okay. So we see here the thing is already done. So now we do for paragraph. Okay. Color is white, and for button, I say background color to be a fancy yellow, and border is 1 pixel solid green. Yeah, and we already have it running. So this is a, we have a button now. Okay. Let's add some functionality. Okay. Let's say I'll just do a alert. Okay. Const alert me, alert message. Okay. We just do a button click, and here in how we do uh, for JavaScript, right? We just do a on click event handler and alert message. Okay. When we save this, click me, it says button clicked. So that's how we do a event handling in Svelte. So I pause here. Any questions? Okay. Okay. Now I'll show you like how this style does not affect any other pages, right? So this is going to be in this particular component level. So now we are going into another route. Okay. After this div, I create a href for slash about. Okay, go to about page. So I mean, when in React, it will be a single child that needs to be rendered inside the render component. But here you can do as many markup tags you want, and Svelte won't complain. Yeah. No. Now I'm going to the slash about route. So to create an about route, what we do is go to the routes folder, just create a folder called about, and add a plus page dot svelte. Okay. So now it will be in the about page. Now I say this is from my about page. Okay. Okay. Inside, let's add the same div. Okay. This is my about page paragraph. Okay. Click now. Let's add a script tag. Okay. Function hello alert message. I do function from alert. Okay. Now I save this. Okay. When I go here, when I go to about page, you see this is my about page. Click me. It says hello from about page. So the styles that we wrote here in the component did not affect the ones in the about page. So that way you can componentize your styles as well. But let's say if you want all your divs to have the same thing and all your buttons to have the same thing, what we can do, just copy, go into app.css, write it here, save. Now you have it in the global level. Okay. So this is my about page, and you see, this is my first paragraph. Go to about page. So it can be done on the global level as well, how we do in app.css. Yeah, now right now I'm just disabling it. Okay, this is how we do routes. So any questions here?
Yeah, there is a question. Can we take async operation op with iLoader example?
Yeah, we can take async, await promises, etc. That I'll show you when we come to the server part. Okay. Okay, now that we have our first UI with Svelte ready, Okay, what I'm going to do is let's render some lists, the template directives that I was talking about. Okay, so we have this. Okay, let's talk about the runes first, like how a state variable, how a derived variable, and effect runes can be accessed. Okay, so let me delete all of these. Let me do a script tag, then we do a div tag, and then we do a style tag. Okay, now let's look at states. Okay, so now I declare a variable called counter, okay, equal to $state and of initial variable to be 0. Okay, let's go to home page. Now here I call that variable called counter. Okay, so it will give me 0. Oh, okay, let me make this big. Okay, so counter is 0. Okay, now we add button, uh, increment. We have, let me put it all in a div. So these class names that I do is just plain tailwind. Okay, now I'm just going to add a class equal to button, and here dot button. Okay, I'm going to say it's not complicating. So padding is 1 m, and background is border radius. Okay, right. Now we have 3 buttons. So we are going to do a increment, a decrement, and a reset. Okay, so now we can have a function. We can just write regular JavaScript functions. So I say increment is counter plus equal to 1. So this is just an assignment. So again, counter decrement. Okay, then const reset, which is counter equal to 0, and I just add on click increment. Okay, I assigned it thanks to my GitHub Copilot. It just filled it for me. So I just have increment, decrement, and reset. Okay, now I create. It is reactive. So let's say state is I just declared it with state and is already reactive. So I can do decrement, I can do a reset, I can do a decrement. Okay, so this is how a state variable works. Okay, let's say I want to use a derived variable. Okay, let double counter is equal to dollar derived of counter into 2. So what a derived counter is, whenever a counter, okay, let's initialize this to 1. Okay, whenever counter changes, it multiplies it with 2 and then gives you a double counter. Okay, now I'm going to add this as well. So p double counter. So now when I increment, I just change the state variable, and the double counter is already deriving the value from the counter state. So I did not touch double counter anywhere in my code to manipulate it. It is all coming from the reactivity. So I can just keep on doing. I can increment, decrement, whatever I do, it is going to give me the same answer every time. So this is our double counter. Okay. Now let's say I do a dollar effect. So which is a effect, use effect equivalent of the React. Okay. Now I just do a let's say I want my counter to never be 0. Okay, I just say alert. Okay, uh, if counter equal to 0, alert counter reached 0, and then I set the counter to 1. Okay, so whenever I say, let's say I'm going to increment it. Okay, now I'm decrementing it. You see, counter reached 0 and it makes it to 1. Okay, and similarly, if I want to just do counter greater than 10, counter exiting resetting to 1. Okay, counter equal to 1. I just sorry, some problem. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. Counter is equal to 10. Counter reached 10. Resetting to 1. Now I go counter to 10. You see, when I reach 10, counter reach 10, resetting to 1, and it goes back to 1. So that's how reactive is Svelte is. Any doubts? I can pause to take questions. Okay, cool. Is Janardhan?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to check. I felt very comfortable seeing this. It was so lovely because in the previous Brillo session, we didn't have enough time. This is quite wonderful. Anyone else sees a difference? Because, yeah, I think all this framework try to, address very, very complex things. So no comparison in terms of what is best and others. But the simplicity, right? If I have to build an application from scratch and this is the first one I'm choosing, this looks like very comfortable one to get started. Do others feel about same or am I the only one here? Okay.
Yeah, I saw few hearts flying around when I did the derived state. So I think people are getting a hang of what Svelte is. Okay, so let me show another example of how reactive R thing is. Okay, so I'm just going to say a variable called name and set it to a empty state. Okay, now I'm going to like demonstrate two concepts here. Okay, input type equal to text. Okay, uh, now I click, I say placeholder is my name. Okay, now I'm going to call in my name. So make it a bit smaller. Okay, now my name is this. Now what I'm going to do is bind this particular variable called name into the value that we type into the what I'm just going to bind. Okay, the value will be the output, and I just bind the value to the name. Okay, now you see I declared a state variable called name, and just I bounded it to a bind value equal to name. Okay, whenever I type, so whenever I type, it is automatically getting manipulated in the DOM. Okay, I did not do any other functions. I just declared a name and just bound the variable to name. Okay, so this is how easy. And let me create a quick button which is called reset my name. Okay, now I make it okay, reset my name. Now here for button, I just click do a on click. Okay, I just write a inline function, name equal to empty. Okay, so let's say I'm just typing in my name is Abhimanyu. Okay, and just click reset my name. You see the input is empty, the state is empty, and it is gone. I did not do any other things. I did not write any other function to handle this. So just I say name equal to empty, and it is already resetting my states. So this is how we bind a variable to the state, and you can also bind the variable in a component to a variable. Okay, yeah, so that's how we covered state, derived, effects, and props inspect. So as I said, let's say I just going to do a dollar inspect of name, just this. Okay, and I'm opening up the console here. Okay, I just see, I just got my thing. I just got my variables here. It is console.logging. Every time I change this, when I reset my name, it is going empty. So that's how you can inspect a state variable in Svelte using the $inspect rule. Okay. Uh, any questions till now? Now let's look at how we can yeah, we can go into the markups. Okay, so a condition. Okay, let's say let's keep the same example. Okay, bind, I have my name. Okay, and I have another input. Okay, uh, let's create, let age equal to $state of 1. Okay, so $state of 1. uh, I do it here, and I just same do the value, bind the value to age, type equal to number. Okay, now I have, okay, Abhimanyu, and I am 18 years old. I just typed it and it's there. Now we are going to do a condition. Okay, so I just say if. Okay, I start the if here and end wherever I wanted to. I mean, okay. So if a name, and name should not be empty, and age is greater than 18. Okay, I just display this message. So right now my name is empty. Whatever I type in, it is not going to render because age criteria is still there. Okay, like I say 16, it is not there. 17 is not yet there, not yet there. When I, okay, I typed in my name, 19 years old, it is there. When I go back to 18, it is gone. So that's how we can do a DOM manipulation with this, and you can add multiple, okay, multiple conditions here. So let's say if I wanted to do a okay, let's say hello, you are now eligible to vote for your country. And I want to do a else. Okay, else if name and age is less than equal to 18. Okay, I say greater than equal to 18, and if it is less than 18, okay, I'm just going to say hello, you need to wait. Okay, I just call a 18 minus age, more years to vote. Okay, so now I just type in, okay, you see, Abhimanyu, you need to wait 17 more years to vote. I keep on increasing it. The state is automatically changing. I just go 18, you're now eligible to vote for your country. So that's how reactive Svelte can get with the states. So when I come back to 17, you need to wait 1 more years, 16. Okay. So now here also I can do a simple condition here. Okay, let's say if I want, if it's age minus 18 is okay. Let's create a derived state now. So let age difference equal to dollar derived of 18 minus age. Okay, so I just do a thing. Okay, if name and age difference is less than 0, less than equal to 0, and if name age difference greater than 1, I just typed in. Okay, so it's now working in a derived state. So we calculate the age difference and here. So here also I create a new if condition. Okay, let's say if I want to create a here in years alone, I wanted to display year instead when age difference is 1. Okay, I just say if age difference equals 1, then I just put in year, else years. One sec. See, now I have a else if else condition. Okay, so I have nested multiple ifs together. So let's say I give my name. You need 17 more years. Just let's look at this particular thing. Okay, when I say, oh, okay, uh, something got messed up. Okay, let us come back to this later. Okay, so we have the reactive states. So any questions on this? Any doubts? Okay. So let's go to the next thing. Okay. Let's say,
So can you make that greater than equal to 1? So I guess if you do that, we should probably see that. No,
which one? Age difference, right?
no, the ones in else if name and age difference is greater than 1, so should be greater than equal to 1. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Thanks, Kunal. So yeah, wait one more year, and here is it 2 more years. So we can do all these. So we can nest multiple conditions, yeah, in order for it to work. So this is how reactive we can set a state. Okay, now let's go into doing arrays. Okay, so let's say let cars equal to BMW, Audi, Mercedes. Okay, so I have a car. Now what I'm going to do is I have a, what is the traditional method that we use? We say BMW, and we do Audi, and we do Mercedes. So that's how we render a list. So instead here, what we can do is inside UL, what you can do is each, okay, cars as car. Okay, I just give a car and then do a, I close the each loop. Okay, now you see my each car as car, I just do a car. You can also add a index for a key. Okay, so he just gave me this. Okay, you see one BMW, two Mercedes, and I let's say I add Toyota and Honda to the list. It is automatically there. So that's how you can render a list with here. Let's say here I don't have I have a empty list. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is else I just going to say no cars available. So it says no cars available since cars is empty. So whenever you add a car here, I say Audi, it prints it. When I remove Audi, it says no cars available. So this is how you can add. Okay, let's see a quick example of how it can be dynamic. Okay, I'm just setting it to a state variable. It is an array. Okay, and I have a button const add number to array equal to number array dot push. Okay, uh, number array dot length plus 2. I just do it, and each number array as number uh, number item. Okay, it might throw up the numbers. Okay. Now I add a button. Okay, add number. Okay. Now see, I keep on clicking add number. It just keeps on adding number, and I can I can do a other function called remove number from array, and just do a array dot pop remove number. Okay. Uh, okay. Now I do add number, remove number. When I remove a number, it says no numbers available. I add, it keeps on adding. Okay. And I can still remove no numbers available. So this is how you can dynamically manipulate a state variable and also represent it in a each. So any questions?
Yeah, there's a good question here, Sriman. Shankar
Yeah.
is asking, okay, this looks good for maybe a small app, but really in the enterprise or any big projects, we want to keep JS and CSS separate, okay,
Yes.
avoid getting the file getting cluttered. So
Mhm.
what do you follow at a larger applications? What is the recommended one?
Yeah, I can also create a, CSS file for a module. Let's say I have a input. Okay, I can just create a component, but that will become too complex when we talk about it. Probably at the end, I'll show you an example of how I have done it. Yes,
Sure.
we can manage it in a component level as well,
Okay.
and also keep global styles. Uh,
Okay.
okay, right. Now let's go to the other example. Okay, so we saw if, we saw each. Okay, so other concepts, they might get a bit advanced. So what I would we can do is, let's say we have a we'll create a server. Okay, and see how we can fetch data and throw it into the UI, and then come back to the other concepts. Okay, so right now I'm clearing all these. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a plus page dot server dot js. Okay, so this is a, server file. Okay, what it does is export const load. Okay, so this returns a object. Okay, this has message. Now what I'm going to do is, I just created a server with a function. This is the function syntax. So you will have to export a function called load. Okay, and will give you a JSON object. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to get that as a prop. Okay, so let data equal to dollar props. So dollar props is a function. Instead of showing it in the UI right now, what I'm going to do is just do a data from server. Okay, and just go here. Yeah. So I just open the console. You see, we have a data from server. There is an object coming. Let's refresh. Okay, data from server. We have message hello from server. So we can print it here. So I just say data dot message. You see, hello from the server. So when I change hello from the server again and just save it, refresh it, we have hello from the server again. Okay, so that's how we can pass a data from a server. So what we are going to do is I'm just going to take this JSON placeholder where it has a list of blog posts. So we have a title, we have a body, we have a user ID of that particular thing, and ID of that particular post. So I'm just going to copy that API. Okay, what I'm going to do is do a fetch. Okay, so since it's an thing, await async, let me demonstrate const uh, blog post responses await fetch of let me paste the URL here. Okay, so await fetch of URL. Okay, const blog posts. Okay, post. So now we just get the await and then we go. I'm just going to save. Let's see if it's coming. Okay, yes. So here we see we have 100 posts coming here. Okay, cool. Now what we'll design is we'll just create a small card. Okay, that will show. Right now we have the user ID. User ID. Okay, I'm just saying. Uh, right now I'm giving static data just to uh, create the UI. Okay, then we have a title. Title is sample title. Then what are the fields there? Then we have the
Yeah, Sriman, sorry to interrupt. Just we'll take a moment since we are 2 minutes over. I know we had good interaction, which was also a purpose of having an interactive meetup.
yeah.
How many more examples we may have? And
Just
of course, it's
just
being recorded, so we'll give enough time. So yeah,
yeah, just 2 more minutes and we should have it ready, Janar.
sure. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So we have a sample. Okay. Let's create a class. So now we have a card title. Zoom out a little bit on the UI. Okay. So we have everything here. So we have a user ID, title, and the description. So since we know that we received a posts as an array, we can use what we can do is we can just use a each. Okay, each data dot posts as post, and then we call, and we also give a fallback. Oh, posts available. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is post dot. So let's look at the object. So it's going to show the user ID, post dot user ID, and post dot title and post dot body. Okay, so if you see here, I'm just going to make it bold. Okay, so this is how we can create a from the server. Okay, so from the server we have a user ID, we have a title, we have the description, which is all given here, and it's going to change. So as you can see, one here, its other description here. Okay, so and we can, this is how we can do. So this is how we can render a list from a server data. So this is again acting as a full stack application because we have a server that fetches the data for us, which is not exposed here, and we have a front end that renders the code for us, which is, you see, this entire blog post is just like totally 18 lines with all the blank spaces. So that's how simple Svelte can actually make a developer life easier. Probably I would like to show one more example of how we can use groupings. Okay, so I have created a sample project here. Okay, here I have multiple routes. Okay, so I have about us page, contact us page, R model, and inside candidates I have few things, and inside auth I have login, reset, sign up, etc. And I have a plus layout.svelte that will be useful for setting the layout for a particular group of routes. Okay, I'm just going to run this. Okay, it's now on. Okay, see, so this is the in corporate layout. I have this particular red color banner that will be there. So about us is a part of the corporate page, and contact us. You see, this is the contact us page. Yeah, and our model again we have content. And when I go to login, it is a different group of routes. So here I have a yellow banner. So here, see, here in login, I have authentication layout, which is the login route, sign up route, business partner sign up route, and forgot password route. When I go back to home page, it says this is the main corporate layout. So this is how you can create multiple what do you call, multiple layouts in routes. So since it's a file-based routing, I'll attach this as well in the GitHub repository that will be shared post this meeting. So this is how you can incorporate routes in an advanced thing. Yeah, probably to answer the previous question. Okay, let me show something. So okay, let me not show the code. Just okay. So here you have I have a project. Okay, so I have multiple routes, and inside that I also have few components. So here in components I have a job card, I have a profile card and company job card, etc. Okay, where I can just call in as a component that we call in React. So in company preview card, this is a component, and when I go into company preview card, right, I have my own set of styles. I have my own set of component and logic here to be shown. So I can just do how we do in components, how we create in React, so we can keep the code base less cluttered as possible. I hope I answered that question. So any other questions? I'm happy to take up.
Okay, folks, we can take any types of questions, basic, intermediate, advanced. At least we covered the main topics and everyone got benefited.
Yeah.
We can have the real fight, which framework is the best today. This is the time. And if you want to drop off, please continue. I'll share the YouTube channel where I'm going to post it. It has been a while. I posted there. I'll share it. I'll send it over email also, okay? So that you can register. I know Sunday is personal time.
Manu,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind, I mean, Kapil wants to go ahead, then I will go ahead.
Hi, thank you. So my question, Shriman, was about that, like when it comes to deployment, so does it need a build process? Like I'm just thinking from a client perspective, like a very small client. So
Okay.
what do they need right now? Suppose they have some PHP plus jQuery, and it's just a cPanel they can do. So they don't need bash and build. So what is there with Svelte?
Yeah, let me again, great question, because that's when it comes to the corporate part of it. Yeah. So when you go to Svelte kit, right? So there is something called adapters. Okay. So you have multiple adapters. So you can use Cloudflare for Cloudflare hosting, or let's say you want to build a static HTML site for hosting in the cPanel. Okay, they have a very old PHP cPanel routing. So you can use adapter static, which will give you a HTML file to host in your server.
I think I still need my like maybe I didn't shared it properly. So when I completed my code, I want to
Mm.
build it and put it on server. So will I need like a machine with some node installed or some bash installed? Like what is the
No. You just we definitely need Node to run your. I mean, in your deployment site. Okay, let's go to this example itself. Okay, let's see this example. Okay, now we have this. Okay, what I'm going to do is just stop my deployment and just do sudo npm run build. Okay, when you go to package.json, so you have your build. Okay, I just say npm run build. Okay, now
now it is
you,
similar to something like Angular, like we have
yes,
the file
yeah,
to put it
yes,
like even I can put
yes,
it on A3 maybe.
yes.
I don't
You
know.
see, yeah, you just have a output. Okay, that you need to copy and put it in the server.
Okay, okay.
So, and you can use multiple adapters. So let's say there were three situations where I encountered. One was Vercel hosting. So I wanted to host my entire deployment in Vercel and get the build running. What I did is just put it into the GitHub repo, and Vercel did all the heavy lifting for me. It builded the application, it hosted it. And the second type of hosting was, I had a server which was having a node thing. Okay, so we had a node mon running there, and we had a process running there the whole time. So what I did is I just build it as a node application. So when you go into adapters, you will have something called adapter node. Okay, so you can just build it as a node application. Just start node space index.js, and it will start running as a node application. Or if you want a static HTML site, there is something called adapter static, which will build a static HTML and CSS JavaScript file for you. You just copy that folder, put it into the cPanel or something, and it will automatically start running for you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks much.
Virat, go ahead. You had a question.
Yes, Virat.
Yeah, yeah. I had a question on we were speaking about the nodes, right?
Uh,
So till what version of node it is supported?
it's supported till the latest version. I use
No.
22
Older version
older
I'm
versions.
speaking. Yes.
I'm not sure. I think okay. I think we can use. Okay, let me Google it for you because I'm not sure.
Hmm. The reason why I'm coming up with since it's a new library, right? And it's not it's
Yeah, when you go to Svelte 4, it's Node 16.
Node 16 would work. Node 16 would work because I would see some of the VM which you deploy generally your builds, right? I had faced this. They do not support because of their configurability, or let's say stable version, right? They restrict you to upgrade to the latest version because
Yeah,
these libraries,
you can use the LTS version. The
LTS.
LTS is what, yeah, the LTS version is the most recommended.
Understood. Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
For, right now for deployment, I'm using 22.20, but I have also used Node 18, the LTS version.
mm, understood. And when we talk about, I love the some of the concept which you were showing about, instead of creating the Svelte, coming
Uh,
from the React, right? And V test is very important for the unit testing. So
Yes.
what about the Cypress? Does it
Uh,
have the support of the Cypress? I mean,
Cypress.
the integration testing, what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, I think Cypress has Svelte component testing inbuilt. Yes, it does has.
Makes sense, makes sense. Looks very lucrative, Ivan.
Yeah.
Janardhan, I mean, you guys are transitioning, and I mean, not from the Abhimanyu point of view. Janardhan, I heard the story. I mean, it's good. I mean,
Yeah.
things are looking very lucrative. Let's see how far Svelte can go. There are lots of promises that has been made in the JavaScript. See,
Yes.
but the what I felt, I may be wrong, and Abhimanyu can correct me on this. There is a
Yeah.
lot of promises made on JavaScript perspective. So many library comes in with you know so many promises, but the underlying principle, the JavaScript itself has some problem. So unless and until you have to solve the JavaScript problems, you bring up any library, they will have the
Yeah.
problem as it is.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, so probably my point of view here is like, see, JavaScript definitely has its own problems. What Svelte tries to achieve is give you a developer experience, give a
Huh.
better developer experience with lesser learning curve. So you don't have to learn hooks or writing custom hooks or using use effects or then there comes an effect. Doubt, should I use effect or use layout effect? There are
Correct,
multiple
correct,
hooks.
correct,
Yeah, so that's where developers, they wanted to make life easier. So that's where Svelte comes into the picture. So
correct.
it's just assign and chill.
Yes, no, 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 no. I agree with you, and it is definitely very important.
Yes,
I mean, you go to, let's say you are working for one organization, right, and you switch to some other organization, and the way of writing a code in that organization is entirely different. It's
exactly.
very difficult for anybody, transitioning. It takes time. It is, when I say it's time, it's a costly as well, right? It takes time for
Yes,
any developer 3 to 4
exact.
months to
Once.
get it into the flow of entire code base,
Yes,
because
yes,
there is a no systematic patterns that we follow, right? It depends on the
exactly.
person choice.
Correct. Yes. This happened within the same organization as well. Let me give you an example. So when first started with React, we had a project that was running in class components. Okay, then we
Correct.
had a new project that came up, and some developer, they, instead of using class components, they started using functional components and hooks. So when I wanted to onboard a team, at least for my seniority level, I could adapt it within a couple of weeks. But when I had to onboard a junior resource, he had a lot of time. He took a lot of time to adapt from uh, class-based components to functional-based components. So that took us entire month or so to get adapted to the new repository and start get working. So when it comes to Svelte uses this direct script HTML based approach. So you know HTML, you already know Svelte. Just you need to learn the template derivatives like if and each, if else, each, here, etc. So when I built my first POC, right, it took me less than 3 days to build my first POC, and that POC I integrated a time series database. I used Lucia Auth, and I had multiple libraries like AG we had semantic UI. Everything was integrated well into the Svelte. And when I onboarded new junior developers, they were happy because they know plain HTML. Because when it comes to React, you have class name, and instead of for in the label, you have to use HTML for, and you'll have to use a specific JSX syntax for a component. So this was not there when I used Svelte. So Svelte aims at making the developer life easier.
No, totally agree. I mean, even for the Janardhan, it would be very tough. I mean, see, being on the hiring manager perspective, right? It's always a knife that is, on your head, right? Somebody is coming as new. You have a sprint to close. You have a sprint to go on, right? There are so many capabilities that you have to look into. Money is also that flowing in. Question is also flowing in, right? both the perspective, it's a handshake, and it's good that you brought all those point, Manu and Janardhan as well. I understand. See, I am very much into the React. I love React, how they are moving ahead, what kind of, because they have a fast paced development, because they are trying their best to compete with Next.js. That's what
Mm,
they're trying to do. And either way around, Next.js is also trying to compete it with React because of their ecosystem. It's okay. But seeing the Svelte, I felt it's very good. I mean, not entirely transition entire organization perspective. Like, let's say, how what I'm putting it through is like, let's say you have hundred of repos, or you are working in a micro front end architecture
mm,
point of view,
mm,
right?
mm.
In that perspective, you can start endorsing yourself into some of the services to move out of the React ecosystem itself, right?
Yes.
You can try these approach, and I love the perspective how the server components are good, very good. I mean,
Mm,
there is no headache at all. You get a hydration issues. I mean,
yeah.
really
Yeah.
fantastic. You're fantastic
Yeah.
about that. Hydration issues is such a pain. I don't know. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have two more questions. Let's take that and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we'll close.
Thanks, Janardhan, and thanks, Abhimanyu. Thanks for, I mean, having a patiently heard my point of view. I mean, I might be
Yeah.
so much pain in you guys ask actually. I've been asking so many questions,
No
but
Yeah.
it's
worries.
how.
No,
Thank you
but
so
it,
much.
it
Thank you.
no, but it
Yeah.
brought up a great productive discussion, I would say.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So the two questions are: can we deploy the build on a Tomcat server?
Yes, if you want to like have a static HTML file on a Tomcat server, you can do it, or you can write your own custom adapters to uh, adapt to the hosting pattern of a Tomcat server. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
haven't worked on Tomcat server before, but
Yeah.
yes, we can write custom adapters.
Okay. Well, one
And
last question is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I had a question from uh, in the QA part.
Shankar, yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
Shankar.
showcase how to create and pass a child component to a parent component and
Correct.
pass state values?
Yes, that can be really quick. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. Okay. Now, so I'm just going to do a. Okay. So we already have this blog post thing, right? So we have this blog posting. Okay. Let me get the way it goes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this as a separate component. Okay. Inside thing, I gotta just go into car.svelte. Okay. I use this and script, and let I'm just going to say data equals dollar props. Okay. So first, without this, what I'm going to do is write a static to test if it's working. Title, and I'm going to say body. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is export default as card. Okay, from here, and I just go to say import card from library, and say card. Uh, as- okay. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay. Yeah. So we have a card now. So what I'm going to do is post. Okay. Now inside of card, I'm just going to get the data, and when we see in that, let's console it uh, for. Okay. Now you see. Now I say data equal to post. So we have the data coming in the card. So it is already there. So I'm just going to say data dot user ID, data dot title, and data dot body. And yeah, that's how I can pass a prop from a parent to a child. Okay, let's say I wanted to do so this is how you can pass a data from child, I mean parent to child. Shankar, I hope I answered your question. Uh, Hey, sorry, I just dropped off. Once again. Yeah. So, this is how you can pass props, okay, from parent to child. But you can also pass in. You can let's say I want to move data from a child component to a parent. That is also possible. But yeah, that is kind of advanced. Probably we can take it up later.
Okay, one question is how does Svelte compare with ELM? Did you do that anytime, Sriman?
No.
No. Okay. And other question is migrating from React to Svelte. Did you have any? I think I remember you mentioning that.
Yes, React to Svelte was the toughest migration that I ever faced because there are a lot of things that React was capable, and we had to bring it directly into Svelte. It was tough, but I would say it is not impossible. It is getting a bit easier with Svelte's latest version, Svelte V5, and with advanced supports that is coming in. It is definitely easier to migrate from React to Svelte. And I have done that. And in my company that I'm working, Novasman Collectors, we have what you call, we have unanimously decided that we are not going to use React anymore. And we are going with Svelte because our thing is making the developer life easier so that we can make the customer life easier. Our vision. So when we make the developer life easier, customers are going to get great products because you can reduce the deadlines because you already know HTML, CSS, and since there's no like complex syntaxes to learn, your learning curve is simpler. So your developer experience is simpler, easier onboarding, faster onboarding, get into sprints, get your hands dirty, and just deliver. So that's what we have been following, and many companies are adapting to the Svelte trend now. So even tech giant like Apple is here to support Svelte community. So let's. I'm hoping for a paradigm shift that Svelte becomes the industry favorite in other 5-6 years now from now.
Sure, lovely. Thank you all. We were 27 minutes over, but I hope the flexibility of online helps us in this. Thank you so much, Sriman, for the session preparation and your enthusiasm to drive bring Svelte into the community. Thank you so much. Thank you all for
Janardhan.
joining and staying so long. See you all.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.